So God literally said, let us go to the house of the Lord. Please be seated for the reading. A reading from Psalm 30. I will exalt you, O Lord, because you have lifted me up and have not let my enemies triumph over me. O Lord my God, I cried out to you, and you restored me to health. You brought me up, O Lord, from the dead. You restored my life as I was going down to the grave. Sing to the Lord, you servants of his. Give thanks for the remembrance of his holiness. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.
Hello, my name is Dubke, and I am a senior. First, a disclaimer. Although plenty of you have asked me, the answer is still no. This talk is not going to be about bacon. I know a lot of you, especially the underclassmen, may think of me only as that bacon kid who occasionally does ill-prepared announcements with Sean. But I promise, I have a few more defining characteristics than that. No, this talk is actually about doing one significant but pretty straightforward thing in life: finding your own path into the future. Now, I think the idea of finding your future can be a particularly daunting one that strikes us here at SSSAS pretty hard come senior year and the whole college process. Sure, junior year counts for a ton. It's the last full year of grades that any college rep gets to see, thank God. But it wasn't until I started to tour colleges that I realized just how close we are to that great unknown that is life past St. Stephen's. When I finally started the college process last year, I was truly at a loss as to what I wanted in the school. I subjected myself to tour after tour after tour, big cities, rural college towns, public schools, private schools. All of them fell under the umbrella of the Dubke family college road trips, of which Sam and I know oh so well. It was on one such trip that I found myself seated in the homogeneous haze of yet another college information session, surrounded by other college hopefuls, when an unexpected question from the college rep caught me off guard. She asked us this: raise your hands, how many of you exactly know why you want to go to college? About 10 full seconds passed, drenched in silence. All of the usually talkative helicopter parents looked around helplessly at their prized offspring, suddenly at a loss. I thought about it for a few seconds, raised my hand, and looked around expectantly. Only one other kid had her hand in the air. The college rep called on me. I responded with a pretty straightforward, if open-ended response about the opportunities that higher education provided down the road. But that single question, and the embarrassing yet completely understandable lack of a conclusive response, got me thinking, what exactly am I looking for? What have I spent the better part of my life at St. Stephen's working towards? And I didn't know. So I took a step back. I looked to what I had been taught, to what I had been told to do throughout my life whenever the question of my future came up. I considered my education, and I saw that for all the amazing lessons I've learned and forgotten over the past 4 years, never once had anyone, including myself, asked me why I was working so hard, or what I was working towards. It was just assumed that college, that Greek-lettered gateway to a 9-to-5 future, was the only option, the only driving factor behind our high school pursuits. We live in a society that tells us to base all of our core values not on ourselves, on what makes us happy or gives us a sense of self and identity, but on a future dictated by the hurried past of those who came before us. And you know what? This system works pretty well if you want to be a follower. If you want to sacrifice your sense of self in exchange for a sense of belonging. It is all too easy for us humans to peter out our lives into degrees, marriages, careers we didn't really choose. There was a niche open in the system that we followed, and we fell right into it, trapped. Those of us who follow, those of us who lose ourselves in the tumult of that rat race, who scramble and trample and sacrifice our own dreams on the way to another meaningless accomplishment someone else told us to pursue, those are the ones of us who are lost. I believe humans were given an amazing gift a long time ago by some higher power. But whatever you believe in, God, Buddha, bacon, or yourself, each one of us possesses the undeniably human gift of self, of identity. Since you can remember, you've had likes, dislikes, wants, fears, loves, all of the ingredients of what makes you, you. But in our culture, where we plow onward into a future that someone else told us we'd like, someone else told us would be satisfying, we squander that gift. We lose what makes us, us. But don't worry, there are ways to redeem ourselves. Allow me to share with you some wisdom from my favorite movie, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yep. I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
It's a great movie, and if you ever means, I highly recommend it for yourself. But furthermore, Ferris's words of wisdom smack the nail right on the head. Life moves incredibly fast, especially on the doorstep of college, though oftentimes it feels like it couldn't move any slower. Instead of being constantly absorbed in the future, focusing only on SAT and ACT scores, AP creds, and getting accepted to that it school, take a step back, relax. Focus on the now a little more, and you'll be surprised. Surprised at just how much you can find within yourself that's different from what society has told you to look for. I'll bring up one last example in a novel and movie I love, John Krakauer's Into the Wild. It's a true story about a kid by the name of Christopher McCandless, who starts out in a situation that is remarkably similar to most of ours. Growing up in a suburban Annandale home right off 495 and graduating from Emory University in Atlanta, McCandless was primed to follow the same path as his predecessors. A desk job, a family life, a neat suburban home. But that's where the similarities end. By the close of his summer after graduation, McCandless has burned up his ID, social security card, and with them, any remaining ties to his past life. The story culminates with his over 100-day journey into the wilderness of Alaska, where McCandless, finally free from the bonds of oppressive civilization, succumbs to starvation. Now don't get me wrong, I don't want you to go out of here thinking that the only two options in life are Cobain's to burn out or to fade away. There is a middle ground between someone telling you what to do and starving to death. Happiness is the fruit for everyone, and oftentimes you have to take the middle path to reach nirvana. And neither am I trashing college and all the hard work this entire school community has put in to get us there. I'm hoping to get into my top school just as much as the other seniors. But I do want everyone here to ask him or herself one thing. What are you working towards? Is it a future that you've chosen for yourself? A future full of those things that you are passionate about, that you truly want to pursue? Or have you, perhaps, succumbed to the dull numbness and security of belonging? Is it possible to focus so much on belonging in your group of friends, your school community, your society, that you lose sight of who you truly are and what you truly want in life? I think each one of us needs to be able to find the courage within ourselves to step away from the security of belonging for a moment and onto those wobbly stepping stones that represent our true passions in life. We need to learn to accept that God-given gift of self and embrace what we already have, what we already love. If you want the security of a 9-to-5 work week, if you want to take the path that your predecessors have laid down before you, by all means, go for it. Just make sure that you're doing it because that's what you're passionate about, not because someone else told you to make it your goal in life. I'm paraphrasing this from something I read, but don't risk wasting your life not doing what you love on the bet that you can buy yourself the freedom to do it tomorrow. Unless you're the Dalai Lama, you each have but one life to live. So I plead with every one of you to go from here with the intent of finding out what it is you truly want with your life. It's not easy. I'm still pretty uncertain where I want to go with mine. But that's part of the fun. Part of that gift that makes each one of us human. So I'll leave you all with this thought. Life is a jungle, and there are a great many paths winding through it. But I want each one of you to ask yourselves this. Would you rather stumble blindly along while somebody else shouts directions in your ear, or take your life into your own two hands and forge your own and a new path into the future? Thank you, and all.
been perched to high-rise windows, so I took concrete for the field. I've been staring out these windows at the hungry city wheel. I fear we've been wasting our time, talking windfalls and floods in our minds. We've got hollows full of wild hope, might look like fear in city light. So I've been slapping cow skins now, stretch them tight across the drum. I've been bobbing my knees up and down, giving time for no one. I've been dancing in hallways, but I pray down when someone calls. So for each and every long day, I get 10 forgotten ones. I fear we've been wasting our time, talking windfalls and flooding